So hi Digidestin and welcome to the first episode of the Digital Gate. I'm your host Gruffy Gets Good and joining me today is my co-host Holy Dunsparce.
Hello, hello.
This is our first attempt at a nice janky podcast. As you can see there's no logo there at the moment. There may be in the future or maybe we'll just keep it like this, nice and simple. But today we'll just be going over some of the news for the past week, a few deck lists and a couple of lists that we've come up with ourselves. Um, Anything else you want to add before we get started, Jose?
No, let's just get straight into the news of the week.
Let's get into the news. So there's a ton this week, a lot more than I thought. So starting off, we had the uh, pre-release packs announced. So going to be getting the Alt Art Pulsemon, which how was that given out in JP? Do you remember?
All Art Possible was given out during a tournament pack for one of them as just a regular common. So
Oh,
like our current tournament pack too. So I believe Andromon was in the same one as well, which might lead into something later about tournament pack stuff.
yeah, what they're going to use. So was the Pulsemon hollow? Because obviously looking there, it's going to be hollow, the one
No,
we're
no,
getting.
it's not hollow.
Yeah, so I guess they're just hollowing it out for us, but it would be nice to get some more Postman into circulation.
Yeah,
And yeah,
definitely gold ones.
yeah, get a few more in hand. And obviously the Andromon as well, that's just going to be what we've got for Chimera at the moment, just another all art. Um, and then I can't remember the exact amount of, I think it's 52. I'm probably wrong, 52 pre-release cards.
Pre-release cards are always the uncommons and rares in the set. So however many of that is, that's how many pre-release
Nice.
cards.
And then we've got these guys that are announced. So these are the Tamer Party 3. Absolutely love the artist that does this, Koki. Uh, it's a bit weird though because we've got 3 out of the 4 that JP got. So theirs was given away in their, I think it was a tournament pack 6. So they
Yeah.
got these two and these two here. Obviously, we've only got these 3 coming at the moment. So I don't know how they're going to be giving out the other 2, but it's nice that we're getting them so quick because obviously there's still a few alts that we haven't got that JP had by this point. So they just seem to be kind of mixing up what we do and don't get. Um, Maybe that Karamon's going to be given away in the same way as the Alt Rise Greymon was.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Potentially getting a second premium pack, maybe for BT5 and BT4 and BT5, having
Yeah,
them, and then Caramon being the mixture of the two,
yeah, it
or
makes
getting two.
sense.
Yeah,
And then, but the Grizzly one, I'm kind of lost for how they're going to give that one away, unless that's going to be part of like a Tamer part, sorry, a Tamer Party 4, and they'll just pull some more alts from the other set.
yeah. Or they could also put it in like tournament pack 3.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, because we don't know as it's going at the moment. We kind of getting the promos through other means, so it looking just to be alts.
Mm.
So hopefully it stays that way, and they make the promos a bit more accessible. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to get in these 3, and I'm looking forward to finding out how we get that Hollow Kara. And
Definitely excited about the Sukaimon. Sukaimon is very nice.
yeah, yeah, I do love that art. It's a good choice to have him beating up Patamon. Um, and then I do want the Thick Boy Grizzly as well. He's definitely one of my favourites from that lot. Then next we've got the Evolution Cup uh, that sold out within 24 hours. They have no plans on adding um, any more tickets.
Which is kind of a shame, like especially as it's like when we get to the pricing, obviously the main prize that it's giving out in participations, like it's a card that definitely needs to keep in circulation just because of how good it is. So it'd be nice if they would have like upped the amount of
Yeah,
people for certain events, especially for EU that only gets one.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. So obviously JP, they're sitting there pretty. Sorry, yeah, America, they're sitting there pretty with 4, and we've got a whole one for everyone to share. And I think it was 100, might have been 128.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah, so it wasn't very many. So I'm not surprised it sold out. I was the
Same
actually,
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was the only one that actually managed to get one out of us to actually get entry, and that was only because one of my friends messaged me and told me that the tickets were up ready because I'd completely forgot, and he messaged me reminding me so I could grab one.
yeah. If anything, though, for English, they're making Pokemon a lot more accessible than it was in Japan, which is really nice.
Yeah, because the first the non alt art was given away with the Vital bracelet, wasn't it?
Yeah, you'd have to buy a 60 pack watch in order to get the Pokemon.
And there was only one of them, wasn't it?
Yep, yep, you only got one.
Yeah, so it's not as expensive. So when you see people selling them for like 20-25 each, it's not as bad as JP who they're paying 60 per one.
I mean, to be fair, they also got a free watch with it, but
Yeah, yeah, free watch with their £60 card. So this is where it gets a bit weird with the rewards. So obviously with the participation and even with the like the top prizing. So you've got your event pack, which looks like they're giving away each event. Your tournament pack one, which is weird, but I'm assuming they're doing that just so they can get those promos back in circulation because obviously the tournament pack
yeah.
one ended a couple of months ago now.
Actually, Tournament Pack 1 is getting events.
What was that?
Which
Sorry,
is,
you just cut out.
Tournament Pack 1 is going back into circulation.
Oh, so they're literally throwing it back in everywhere. I mean,
Yep,
it makes sense just because to get a playset of all 8 cards that come that you've got the Devimon, the Demi Devi, the Motismon, the Venom Motismon, and then you've got the Diaboromon line.
yeah.
Obviously, the purple side of the cards don't see much play. They see a little bit of play in Dan Devi decks, but the Diaboromon side, like they had a few of the cards had so much to the Diaboromon deck. You want them to be more accessible. Um,
Like, the Digimon one is obviously ridiculous for the current Digimon deck if you can stop the DP on it, and then the Keramon is just really good generically because it's just Agumon for black, like starter deck Agumon.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's nice to have
So,
those additional cards. So getting them back in circulation is great. It's just weird that like this was at the point they decided to implement it. You think they would have implemented more in previous tournaments to try and get it ready for when BT5 come out, so people could have them ready for their Diaboromon decks. But I guess in EXO1 they're going to get more support. We've got our one booster pack of BT5, which obviously last time it was one of BT4, and then the other weird thing is two Pulsemon, um,
yeah,
which is probably why it sold out so quickly.
yeah, because Pulsemon is everywhere at the moment, just
Yeah,
because Lord Nightmon being such a oppressive death of the format.
yeah, and the thing is, he stays relevant as well coming into BT7.
Mm, definitely.
So I can see why they did it. Um, like this as a participation reward is great. They have changed it a little bit. So for the regional, you had to play 3 rounds before you could be applicable for the participation. This time, you only have to play 2. Um, I'm hoping it's not just going to be a bunch of people playing 2 rounds and dropping out, but we saw that a lot in the regional. I think it was something silly like 20% of the people dropped out after round 3 after they'd got their participation rewards, and that was all they were there for.
Yeah, which is kind of sad, but still. Another like point was like some people that are dropping out of this are just people that went X3.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
And
thing. If you've got an X3 and you've got your participation rewards, you don't want to ruin your day anymore.
yeah, true. For Bobcats that day.
Yeah, he played a few. To be fair, I didn't do great in the regional. I won I'd won 3. I think I was 3-1, and I was like, this isn't bad. We can keep going. And then I'd lost the next 5. So I probably should have stopped at some point. By the end of it, I wish I had, but you got to persevere. You never know. Um,
Yeah, sure.
so top 64. It would have been nice if we had a top 64 in regionals.
Yeah, that would
You,
have been surprising.
yeah, but it was only top 32. So it's nice to see this is top 64, especially with the smaller player pool, because that Agumon promo is expensive. So again, just getting there's going to be 64 more just in over our side of the water uh, in circulation. And there's obviously America. There's going to be a lot more coming in circulation. Then top 32 gets an additional tournament pack. Top 8 an additional tournament pack. Then we've got top 2, which is nice. Top 2 walk away with the Omni. So again, just putting a couple more in circulation. So maybe it'll go down from a £2,000 card to a £1.5 card.
Basically. I
And
think
then
it's like the nicest artwork they have for Omnimon.
yeah, have you seen like what the card looks like? The hollow in the metallic blues look amazing. It's the same on the Agumon as well.
Yeah, I've not actually seen like the cards, like either in person or just like online for it, but the images themselves just look really nice on it.
Yeah, so it's going to be one of those cards that are always being chased after.
Yeah.
And then Champion walks away with an additional 4 event packs, which again, even with the event packs, the cards in those packs are so expensive at the moment because we've only had one event that's given them. Sorry, 2 events have given them, but only one of the prizings come out for.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see some of those alts drop in. I think the Lord Knight's definitely going to hold his value still, but maybe like might see like the Metal Gurus, the War Greymons, those dropping a little bit, and the Dan Devis, and even just the like the alt art blockers for a Vilemon. It's about, I think it was like 60, $70 for a Vilemon just because it's hollow, which is
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Things people will pay for holographic cardboard.
yeah, and then they
It's like
get
hugging.
yes,
Sorry.
yes, it's the draw of the shiny cardboard is a curse. Um, and then we've got another tournament pack. So I think that works out as top place will walk away with 4,
Yeah.
which isn't bad. Like I said, more in circulation. Most people by now have probably got the ones they wanted, so it's just going to drop the price. Hopefully those Diaboromon aren't going to be as expensive anymore. And then they walk away with a booster box, which is nice. So I don't think, all in all, even the participation rules, I don't think it's a bad price. It works out about £26 tenner.
Yeah.
So you got
But
your
that's
event pack, your Omni pack, uh, your tournament pack, and your Pulse one. Just for the Pulse one alone, it makes it worth it, and the event pack as well. So if you get a good pull on your Omni pack, you're laughing, and then if you pull something good in your tournament pack as well,
yeah.
it,
Like ideally it's like if you just get like from your event pack, you get the Lord Nightmon. If then it's the thing called Diabolomon and then like Alt has water feed, you're laughing.
yeah. If someone's
Someone
sitting there
getting
with that good luck,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a weird tournament they decided to do, but it's nice that we can get more stuff in circulation.
well, yeah, they said
So,
there's going to be another one October as well. So it looks like
okay,
they're going to be doing one every month. Um, isn't
that's
too
always
bad.
good.
Yeah, you've got one official tournament, but it's like you were saying in JP, they're looking, they're implementing something that isn't webcam for their tournaments. So obviously, assuming it's a simulator.
Yeah, that's for Worlds, the English side, and we ever get to that point.
Yeah, it'll be fun when we get to that. Um, the next, again, to continue with the mass amounts of news that dropped, we got the reveal of the box toppers. Um, if you follow the JP, you know what they look like already. So they've moved away from the tamers again this set, like they did for
So
BT3.
1.5
Yeah,
and
that's
BT.
yeah. So for BT3, where it was um, this the security Digimon. So this time they're going with Digitamers. Uh, I I'd really like the Digitamers. I do think it was a good choice. I love the Tamers, but it's nice that they're mixing it up and changing it every now and then. So we're getting like a different kind of alt. Then we've also got the first anniversary promo packs coming, 1 per box, which have some amazing alts in them. I'm looking forward to getting hold of the Devimon myself.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna try and get my hands on the Upamots because I'm gonna be playing blue for quite a bit.
Yeah, so you might as well max rarity it to make it look pretty. But the most interesting thing was the announce of the promos, because these promos aren't even live in JP yet, so we're getting it before they have.
Also, important thing, it's the return of the dash packs because they were gone from BT5.
Yeah, we had nothing. We all we had was a box topper for BT5, so we've now got anniversary and a dash pack, so we're getting spoiled this time. But looking at the promos themselves, they're not anything groundbreaking. Like I was saying to you the other day, I think they're just colors getting versions of cards that other colors have. So you've got the when attacking draw one for red. So that's just a nice little bit of extra draw power. I don't see it really being put in too many decks. It may be something that's teched in as a two of. Um,
I can see it being getting a fair amount of play in Bond of Bravery.
True, yeah, to make sure they're cycling to get the cards they need. Uh,
Yeah, because the biggest issue with the Bond of Bravery decks have is getting draw power. Is because you run a lot of options and tamers in the deck, so sometimes you can just hit a bunch of them. Having this get a bit more draw power is very nice.
Maybe this is them looking ahead like they did with the promos that we got for BT4. Obviously, we got the promo Lobo, which completely changed how blue worked, and the promo Aguni, which they kind of we got earlier. So for our meta, we had like all the tools. So maybe this is just that they kind of looked at what would help for like blue and red and the other colors, and that's why we're getting them now because they feel like they'll be a good addition for BT6. So we've,
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly, wouldn't surprise me.
because obviously the Gab is just a blue version of the Agumon. That's the so it's just
Yeah,
on play. Yeah, was it the BT1?
yeah,
Yeah, so on play, real top five, add one tamer card among them to your hand, place the rest to the bottom. So it's again just that extra little bit of searcher, maybe just to get the tamer you need to get the mat out if that's the final piece you need. And then we got this. This is where it gets weird though with Kudamon. I'll let you go through these two.
okay. Good one's a really interesting card. So on play, you may reveal you return a Contour's from your trash to the bottom of the deck and recover one. And then on deletion, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -1,000. It's it's such a weird skill.
Yeah, I don't know if this is for something they've planned much further in the future, or it's just they wanted to give another one of the Royal Knights a little bit of a boost.
It kind of feels like the either like BT8 maybe or something a little bit more in the future that we're going to get a brand new Kentaurus.
Maybe we'll get Kentaurus in the starter deck, the Mastamon one.
Yeah.
But I mean,
We'll just have to see.
yeah, it's a weird card to add into it, but it gives Kentaurus a little bit of love. I mean, I do think he's a good card, so adding a little bit of support for like a Mastamon yellow isn't too bad. Gives you an extra recovery uh, because you can bring it back with your Mastamon, and then bring back a Kentaurusmon. But
Yeah. It's a unique card. We'll say that. Very unique. Next up, the other card is Hercules Kabuterimon. With when evolving one of your opponent's Digimon, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, or suspend two of your opponent's Digimon with 5k DP or less.
it's kind of a worse Nidhogg.
It's actually the text on it is exactly the same as the Hercules Kabuterimon option we got in BT1.
Oh really? So they've
Yeah,
just kind of merged the option
they've
card
just
with the Digimon itself.
yeah, basically they just stuck this option on this card.
I think there's definitely a trend with green not getting much love from like BT4 onwards. I got a little bit. It got Raffleasy one, which adds a little bit to it.
BT4, BT4 got some stuff. We got Nidhogg, which is arguably one of the most powerful removal skills
Yeah,
currently.
and it kind of it had that whole Grand Cry got OTK thanks to the Patamon promo as well. With,
Patamon is a yellow card.
Palmon.
Yeah.
Sorry, Palmon like give the ability to give it jamming, so it kind of had its renaissance there. And I think like there's not much coming up next. Because I asked you the other day, like, oh, what's it getting? You were like, it's not.
I think support is going to white as a colour. So
Yeah, it's becoming a white deck.
it's a weird situation. BT7 it gets some pretty decent stuff.
Yeah,
So
I was watching a couple of games today, watching how like the hybrid work. Just that the tamer alone is ridiculous. Does it turn any hybrid Digimon into a one-cost Digivolution if there's a tamer underneath it?
it just reduces the cost of anything evolving on the tamer for 1 by 1.
Oh, oh yes, it's still nice. Still that extra bit of reduction.
Yeah.
And then we've got more
Exciting too.
Diaboromon. Yeah, more Diaboromon support. Um, just giving. Obviously, we've got the Diaboromon coming in EX01 that gives all Digimon the name of Diaboromon blocker, and now we have a Kurisarimon that's going to give all Digimon with the same name decoy. So all your Diaboromon can now have tokens can now have decoy. For you that don't know what it does, don't read the cards. You have to go onto the Digimon card website and read the errata because they worded it wrong. But it's when one of your other Digimon
Right on.
would be deleted, you may delete would be deleted by an opponent. Oh, so they actually got it right in this one. Yeah, so one of your opponent's Digimon that would be deleted by an opponent's effect, you may delete this Digimon to prevent that deletion. So it stops people from Gaia Forcing, from uh, now that's the only remover I can think of. But any
Or stuff like Voltramon.
yeah, so anything that would have deleted it prevents it. It allows you to sacrifice that token. A bit like, so it's the opposite with the Diamoromon for BT1. I believe it was if this Digimon would be deleted, delete a token. So it just gives you another avenue to protect your main stack, which is nice. You know, it didn't need it, but I think it is a nice addition, something extra to run. And then I'll let you go over Wizardmon because you're excited for this.
Yes, Wizardmon. Your turn, once per turn. When you use an option card, gain a memory. It's Lord Flute support, basically.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much, but when you think how much memory Lilith Loop's gaining already, just that one extra, or if you've got a couple of stacks that you've just built up on, because you could potentially Lilith Loop bring back a Wizardmon. If you've got enough memory to go into like a Lady Devi, then into another Lilith, use another one, then you're gaining an additional memory as well. So it allows you to kind of, if you've got the memory to loop, gain some more memory.
Just lets you snowball it.
Yes, it's definitely, yeah. It was out of nowhere that we got these. It's nice though. Again, like I think we said, I think it's just them sneaking in, especially with the first two, sneaking in some extra support for the two of the main decks. These two, I don't know what. It's just they were like, this effect sounds cool, and then this is kind of setting up. I think they're determined to make Diaboromon meta. They will give it whatever it needs to be meta, and then just yeah, no,
Yeah, well, such a fan favorite villain.
yeah, exactly. And they made this card like to be. He would have seen some good play in 1.0 if Omnimon didn't exist, but Omnimon just shut him down completely. And so it was one of the most popular decks, obviously. So it just kind of made playing him pointless. At least we're seeing a bit of a renaissance because of Armageddon protects them from
Yeah,
that. But it's nice to see they're looking back and giving a bit of support and planning, and then just every now and then chucking in some unique cards that help a card that you'd never think they were going to help, like Kentaurusmon.
definitely.
So this is your baby because you've kept up to date with what's going on, JP. So you know a lot more about these cards and the decks they're going into. So I'll let you run this next bit.
Welcome to what is essentially the meta for the next month. Enjoy it. So this is all of the stuff for the Bond decks, or as Japan calls them, the Kizunas. The Gabumon, Agumon, both of them, whenever you play their respective tamer. So if you have Agumon on field, when you play a Mat and the Gabumon, when it's in play, if you play a type, other way around. You get what I mean.
Yeah.
You gain a memory, so they're just become 2-cost tamers. Then they all have inherits that relate to the bonds. So with Gabumon, it lets if you have if it's Bond of Bravery Friendship, you get to unsuspend. And Agumon gives Bond of Bravery an extra security attack, which is huge.
Yeah, yeah, it's especially being you can. I mean, obviously, if you're going straight into it, it's nice. But if you're building up the stack, then going into it, you can stack a couple more underneath it to get that. You can be swinging 4 checks at knowing uh, red like 16, 17k, or it
Yeah,
gives you like that, like, or it gives you that ability to just go rapidly up into a Digimon that's going to swing through to security.
probably should talk about the actual bonds themselves.
Yeah,
So Bond of Bravery is one attacking delete a Digimon with a DP that's less than his, and his DP is a nice chunky 14k. So you can delete pretty much most things on board, which is absurd.
yeah,
And
he's definitely a big boy.
once per turn, during your turn, if a Digimon's deleted by a card effect, trash an opponent's security.
Yeah, so you're potentially going up, playing an Agu, going up into your Bond of Bravery, swinging 2 checks, deleting something big on their board, and trashing another security. So you're potentially going 3 checks. Or
Yeah.
if they've got 1 security left, you're potentially going for game just from that one Digivolution and swing.
Yeah. And just as a note, these are generic red and blue cards. You can splash these in anything.
Yeah, you just need a couple bits of the puzzle, and that's all you need.
Next up, Bond of Friendship. Uh, one attacking once per turn. If you have a tamer, unsuspend him.
Blue does like unsuspending.
Yep, it's one of their gimmicks. It's the gimmick that they love. And then also during your turn, not once per turn, when this Digimon is attacking, choose an opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon and put it to the bottom of the deck, trashing all sources.
So yeah, if you go up into this and they've got blockers, you really don't care about it. You're able just to swing, sending everything onto there. Potentially, if they've got 3 blockers out, you're sending all 3 to the bottom.
Yeah, definitely. It's again, it's all just stupid stuff. These two, there's a reason why these two cards riddled the meta back in the day, along with the other archetype we're soon talk about.
Yeah, I'm interested to see now that, because with Amma is always a little bit different. I thought with BT6 we were going to be at like the same point as JP were, but then they've chucked in a few extra promos to kind of change it up a little bit. So we're always having a little bit of a different meta.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying to me because JP knowledge is not as useful, but that's fine.
Yeah, you've got the majority of the nodes. You just have to,
Obviously, cards.
yeah, just move it around a little bit for our side.
Anyways, the tie and the mat, effectively the same card. They do pretty much the same thing. So during your turn, if you move out a Agumon or Greymon for tie, or Gabumon and Garurumon for mats from your raising area, you get to draw one card and gain a memory.
That's nice, just for raising your Digimon, have an extra move. So potentially you could raise out your Gabu, gain a memory, play your mat, gain a memory. So you've only really paid 1 to play out a second mat.
Yeah, it's also you get card draw.
Yeah, and you get a card draw. So it's yeah, it's not a bad it's not a bad little combo, and it gives you that search to find the pieces you need, but also it's nice to see that red's gonna get a similar like memory manipulation that blue's always had.
Definitely. Also get a nice little bit of card draw as well.
Yeah, yeah, which is something it's also never really had. Um, the option cards that
Oh, to go to the other skill of the Tamers first. The main reason you're playing these two.
yeah,
So once per turn, you can choose to digivolve one of your Agumons, or the Gabumon, into their bond, ignoring its level requirement, which is very important. That it's just the level, so you can't digivolve, say, a black Agumon, the star deck black Agumon, into these behemoths.
wow.
It's important. They did think of this. If you do, then you have to trash the top two cards of your security stack. Then, if you have one or more security, delete the Digimon at the end of the turn. So it's kind of mainly designed to be the final hurrah of like, oh, I've got like one card of my security, I'll just use it to turn this rookie into a mega.
Sometimes that's all you need is that it's that final blow, and especially with like the Gabumon, the bond of friendship, like being able to, if all you need is two more swings, you can go up and potentially get three swings. So
Yeah,
you don't really
yeah.
care what happens to your security.
I will also note it's important that these two check when you digivolve for the ones with the if you have no security killer, which means you can recover during your turn, and then these guys stay, even though you have like one or two security during the end at the end of your turn.
It should be wide. I've seen a couple of this. I think you were talking about like Magnadramon.
Yeah, people used to play. People played Magnadramon in this list a lot for the nice recovery. And then finally, let's talk about the option cards. Red Reamer and Riddle Star. So the red one, it's delete an opponent's Digimon with 6k or less DP. And then if your opponent has 3 or more Digimon in play, you can delete one with 13k or less DP instead.
Shit, isn't too bad for a 4 cost.
No, it's kind of like a archetype. It's kind of like a situational Gaia Force for half the cost,
Yeah,
almost.
I mean, if you're ever in a situation where you have 4 memory and all you need is to one swing and they've got a blocker, it's going to do the work there. But also, I guess it's nice if it's hitting security, you're just going to kill a blocker.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. And then the other one is Riddle Star, or Rattle Star. Return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the owner's hand, but if they have 3 or more Digimon in play, put it to the bottom of the deck instead. Which I think is worth. It's not as useful.
And it's
I'd
more
like the
expensive.
yeah. I'd like a 3 or more requirement of this just to be to bounce any Digimon, rather than just still be at level 5 and put bot deck it instead.
Because this is the thing I wanted to confirm. Because I was reading this card the other day. Because the way it's wording could be misconstrued. Just if your opponent has 3 or more Digimon in play, return one of your opponent's Digimon. So it doesn't state that that has to be.
It says instead. Oh yeah, it doesn't specify level 5.
So I don't know if that's the wording or if it means you're potentially paying 5 to send back a level 7. It's,
I'll uh I'll have a little look.
yeah, because it's
Improvisation with me.
yeah, yeah, because it's. I was looking at and thinking of the wording. And I was like, so does that mean I'm potentially paying 5 to get rid of a level 7, which would be crazy. It could just be in translation the way we word things. They always get erratas, so it could be something that needs an errata as well.
Yeah, I was going to look at the Q in here, but they've not put anything on the Q on. Hmm.
Maybe if someone knows, they can just answer in the
I would
comments.
still, yeah, I would assume it still has to be level 5.
Yeah, you'd assume because I mean, for 4 costs being able to kill most, if not all megas is nice with Red Rima. So, I mean, for 5 costs, I can. maybe that is how it works, you know, because you're paying 5, you're paying one more memory than the red, and then being able to bottom deck like a level 7. But yeah, I guess we'll see with that one.
Yeah, for sure.
So then we've got there's some more leaks this week. So we've got uh, this controversy, which we will go over in a bit, but we're just going to go through all the cards first. So we've
Yep.
got the Jesmon support. So we've got System on Blank and System on CL, which is different to what they got in JP. The abilities of CL is exactly the same as what Noir was. So all of your Digimon with Huckmon in their name or Royal Knight in their types get 2k DP and on play game on memory. And then with System on Blank, while you have a Digimon with Huckmon in its name or Royal Knight in its type in play, all of your Digimon with Systemon in their name gain blocker. And on play, draw 1. So these come into play a lot with the whole Huckmon line. It's an incredible bit of support. That it's kind of like it turns the deck into a pseudo Lord Knight, being able to attack and play out cards, but you're either gaining a memory or drawing from playing these out and potentially turning them into blockers as well. I'm really excited to play this deck. This is one of the decks I'm looking to main next set. It's probably one you've played around with yourself quite a bit.
Yeah, I've played a bit with Jesmon, despite it being red, and people who know me know I'm not exactly the biggest red player.
So then we've got the rest of the Huckmon. So you know more about it. So his name was Hackmon in the translation, but JP it's Huckmon. So we're going with the JP name.
Yeah, it looks like for most of the time now we're just going to be using JP names for Digimon, which is which is a weird thing, but I'm not one to judge.
So we've got with Huckmon on play, field top 5, add up to 2 Digimon cards with Huckmon, Jesmon, or Systemon in their names to your hand and place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. So it's just a searcher. We've seen a lot of decks have searches going forward and from previous sets, which is nice, just being able to get those pieces.
Archetype specific, getting just 2 of anything that you
Yeah,
need to be an archetype.
that's quite nice because obviously we've got the Agumon searcher allows you to grab 1 Greymon from BT5 allows you to have 1 Greymon and 1 Omnimon, where this gives you the option where you can, if all you need is 2 Systemon and you reveal 2 Systemon, you can grab them both. So it gives you that flexibility.
Also, Lulu and Gabu are top 3. This is top 5.
Yeah, so it gives you that deeper pool as well to search from.
Most of the time, this on play, you're probably adding 2 cards.
Yeah, especially with how the deck's built, a good chunk of the time you're going to be pulling, gaining at least 2 from, which is nice. It's filling up your hand, giving yourself more options, and giving you the ability to find more of your pieces. And then we've got Bao Huckmon, which is just a 5 cost to play, 2 cost Evo 6k, and its inheritable is once per turn if you have a Digimon with Systemon in its name in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5k DP or less. So it's just a card that's going to help you clear those 5k blockers, which a lot
Or
of people play.
equals to 6k.
Yeah, true. So it just gives you that ability to be clearing out while you're swinging. And as we'll see with the next ones, I'll let you go over. You'll be doing a lot more when you're swinging.
Yeah. So save your Pokemon. When Digivolving, you play a Systemon from your hand. Systemon from your hand without paying its memory cost. So you can basically either make this draw 2 cards for Evo or cost 2 to evolve. And then when attacking, if you have a Digimon with Systemon in its name, play unsuspend this Digimon.
So
So you get 2 swings with the big boy himself, Chessmon.
yeah, it's quite nice. It's seeing archetypes crossing over. Obviously, the whole restand thing was very much a blue thing, but we're seeing that move a little bit over into red, just getting, or even purple. We've seen it in as well, the restand. So maybe it's something we'll see in the future that every color gets the ability to restand.
Yeah. Future sets yellow gets it.
Yeah. So what we miss in black and Green?
pretty much. Black already has a restander.
Oh, of course there. Yeah. So we're just missing
Green.
green, which may get it in about 5 sets time with the amount of love it's getting.
Sounds about right. And then finally, the big boy himself, Jesmon. When attacking, you may play a Systemon from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost. But then it's your turn. Once per turn, when another Digimon is played, this Digimon gets plus 3,000 DP and piercing.
Yeah. So it's just all that ridiculous synergy through the stack, being able to.
Be a blocker, unsuspend, and be a 14 or 16 if you played a Systemon CL
Yeah.
with piercing.
Yeah. So you're potentially within, because obviously you don't want to be digivolving these in raising because you want to get their ability. So you are putting yourself out to be vulnerable for removal, but you're potentially digivolving into Savior, then into Jess, playing out two Systemon, giving you two blockers, drawing you a card or gaining you a memory. You could even potentially play two of CL, so you're gaining two memories, reducing the Digivolution cost down by two through the line. So there's just so many benefits, and especially where we're going to be having the memory boosters as well, it gives you the ability to potentially, because it's only going to cost you 4 memory if you play out 2 CL. Sorry, it's going to cost you 5 memory if you play out a CL. So all you need is a tire down and then activate your memory boost, and then you've got the 5 memory you need. You've gone straight into Savior, then straight into Jessmon, and you've got everything you need there ready. Swing, play out another one. It's,
Unsuspend and then swing again, bring out something else.
yeah,
It's a really absurd deck. And it only gets better as time goes on.
yeah. With getting, when did it get support? Like,
BT7.
yeah. So like like next set, it gets even more support. But yes,
Yeah, so
for me, where I've never played around with it, I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing how it works. You've had a bit of a play with it yourself, but yes, it's definitely one I'm looking out for. But then we've got the fun bit, the controversy that has come with Jesmon and the Systemon. So the JP card we have here is Systemon Noir, which was the JP version of CL. So obviously got censored over here, probably because it looks very much like a traditional nun and it is wielding cross guns. Something which over here we don't seem to like anything that gives any religious uh, references. So I can see why they've done it, but at the same time they've not done a clean sweep. She shows up in other little parts.
yes, she
Um,
does.
so they kind of jumped on it a bit too late. But what they've also done is Japan have adopted CL. So CL was created for one of the Digimon Cyber Sleuth games because when it was ported over here, they didn't want to have a nun with guns, so they made CL. But she actually uses guns in the game. So Japan have adopted her as the third Systemon, given her own unique weapon and her own unique look. Um, and then we have done away with that and made it so they're a duo. So for us over here, it's a duo. For JP, it's a trio. And first place you can see that they're a trio is here's the JP card for Bao Huckmon. As you can see, you've got System on Blank, System on CL, and System on Noir. So all three, where in JP they are a trio. And over here we have our version of the card where they have just completely wiped her out as she never existed at all. But
Yeah,
here is our English delicate plan. As you can see behind Blackwall Grey, you can see System on Noir's head next to System on Blank. So they
I've
caught it.
already acknowledged her existing despite wanting her not to be here.
Yeah, so you think they would have planned ahead of it because realistically, it's quite an easy edit for them to make on a delicate plan. They just change the back of the head to the blue, and change the ear shapes, and they're done. But they left it there, and even they've not done a proper clean wipe anyway. Because here's at the bottom, you can see the inherited effect little screen. So you can see in the bottom corner, there is System on Blank. Sorry, System on Noir. You can see her hand and her ear. Um, yeah, on the main card they've wiped it, so it feels like it's a quick fix. They've completely forgot she existed. On this card, I've wiped her off, haven't wiped her off completely. Maybe by the time we get them, it would have been, but I doubt it because they've already been printing for a while, getting ready for this set to come out. So I'm assuming that we're going to be getting this over.
This is still like it's 3 weeks away. There's not enough time really for them to correct this issue, so it's just something they're going to have to live with.
Yeah, and it's just kind of, I can understand why they've done it, but
So,
at the same time, it's unnecessary censorship. They could have released it as it was, and then it gives us potential for down the line. There's going to be another. There's JP going to get a system on CL because surely they're going to play into it at some point where they've already shown on a card like Bao Huckmon that it's a trio.
yeah,
But the other thing you can't see on the JP card, but they've actually changed her type to data, which with the whole archetype of the Digimon's type now coming out, especially with the XO1 like Imperial Digimon, it plays off of them being the free typing. So they don't have to be an Imperial Digimon, Pale Digimon, it just has to be that type. Potentially in the future they're going to hit a snag where in JP everything synergizes and over here it doesn't because the typing's
or the
different.
way around.
Yeah, all the other way around. So I understand changing the look, but changing the typing as well because it is an established character in JP now. It's potentially going to cause issues in the future. Um, Maybe they'll put things in place. Maybe after the next set where we get the burst modes in BT7, we won't see them, and that'll kind of be it. They've had their place. We've got their two cards, and that's it.
Yeah, potentially.
But it would be nice to see if we're gonna get the if we're gonna get an alt art system on CL because it's actually the same artist that did the um, blank and noir that did CL. So I'm assuming we're gonna get a unique alt art over here of CL because
I would
JP.
imagine. So. I
Yeah,
wouldn't stop, not do one.
and then in BT7 instead of uh, system on blank boost, is it boost or burst?
It's awakened.
Awakened, sorry, yeah. So Awakened, we're gonna get System on CL instead of System on Noir. But yeah, it's their first little bit of censorship. Um, People are always going to get upset with censorship. Me personally, as long as they've planned ahead and it's not going to affect things in the long run, it's fine. But changing the typing could potentially affect things in the future. So they may have, just made things harder for themselves. But only time will tell. Like I said, maybe we'll see their awaken modes in the next set, and then we won't hear from them again.
Yeah, it
But
just depends. Like as soon as Japan gets their own, if they do get their own system on CL, that's when it becomes the issue.
yeah, so we just need to kind of wait and see,
Never
really.
happens.
Yeah, but I think that, yeah, so that's all the news. It's quite a bit of news for this week. I first went into it thinking, oh, there's not going to be much news to talk about because there's been no JP leaks. Obviously, with uh, BT7 just launching in Japan, we're kind of in that lull of no information, and the next lot of leaks is going to be the new starter decks, which you said should be sometime soon as well.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was sometime soon because I believe they're releasing either like mid October.
Yeah, yeah. So
Could be wrong.
usually they release every single card in the set before it's come out. So
Mm.
hopefully we'll get them soon. But
It's nice to talk about.
yeah, exactly. It'd be nice to. I think because the way this format we've set up with the news, we're going to be getting uh, the EN cards to talk about because obviously the run up to BT6. But there's a ton of news this week. There might not be next week. So hopefully there's some JP cards. just to give something else to dive into. So this next segment is a nice bit of a shameless promotion for our Discord group. So me and Holy are both part of a Discord group called Gordo's Games. It runs a lot of locals twice a week. It's free entry. It's open to everyone worldwide. So we thought it'd be nice to do a shout out to like the top 3 decks for the past 2 locals of ours, just to give some guys on the server uh, like a bit of a showcase, a bit of a shine, and also just to kind of show you what decks are working for our locals. Um, so this is for last Thursdays. No surprise, first place, our boy Ramo with Lord Knight. It's a very traditional Lord Knight list. I think we're getting to the point where it comes to the end of a set where people know what works with Lord Knight, so you're only going to see the slight tweaks between the decks. Other than that, they're going to be quite similar. The core is pretty established, so it's just going to be the odd little bit of spice either way.
Yeah, and obviously Boggart's the spiciest is probably the spirals,
Yeah,
because I know some people like spirals, some people don't like spiral. It's just a very person dependent thing. So
yeah. Usually you see them run one or the other, but it's nice that he's running two. So he's running like the slash line, so he's getting the DP reduction now. Where for a while you saw him running Mastimon to kind of counter Lord Knight, but it seems like that worked well for a bit. I think Mario and True Champion Steven kind of promoted that that deck build when they went into their regionals, and obviously from that, where Mario, I think he came third with the deck list.
yeah,
Um,
it's like that or second. One of the
yeah,
two.
so a lot of hype come off that. So a lot of people were trying out, but it seems like that's died down now, and we've gone back to like the pure yellow Lord Knight, which I mean it works. It's not fun to play against when it goes off. But yeah, I feel like it's a list that's very. I don't want to say safe because obviously RNG is a big thing, but it's a very well worked on list that you're only going to see a couple of things change through people's deck lists now.
Yeah, definitely.
But then we've got Tefre plays. He's quite relatively new. Um, I like that he's repping green. You don't see a lot of green players. Uh, like Raffleasy has some really good abilities. I think she's really good, but everything else is so explosive, and green is one of those decks that it can build up wide quickly, but it suffers from removal. And
Yeah,
with decks like Lord Knight that are also building up quickly, but at the same time they're destroying and disrupting your board, and even Shoutmon that's able to swing through your stacks that aren't suspended and deleting like your 5Ks, he kind of like it can pick away at you building up. So I think that's why we've not seen green do as well as it has, because the two of the top decks like hard counter it, so it's hard to see people do well with them. But I mean, he did really well. He came second on the tournament. I think there was about there's 24 players on this one, so it was quite a busy
and
busy
not
local for us. Um, but again, it's kind of like your Nidhogg Raffleasy control deck. Um,
yeah,
he's got one spicy Grand Quagga in now for the Digiburst for.
there's a few spicy cards in there. It's like Terriermon Assistant, Whistling, Mimi, and
Oh yeah,
Izzy.
I didn't even notice the Terry one. Yeah, he's kind of gonna. He's got quite a bit of spice in it. Looking at it, he's got the
Yeah,
Buncho as well.
Cherrymon's also there.
Oh yeah, there's me looking at it thinking it's quite.
It's not.
Yeah, and I'm like looking deeper and like, wait a minute, there's tons of one-offs. I think me and Gordo were talking about this the other day that we're seeing a lot of deck lists do well that don't play by the rules, that are running one-offs, and they're doing well because it gives them potentially in a situation where they run like a very safe deck which runs 4 of things and has 14 rookies, 12 champions, 8 ultimates. But if they run into a situation they're not prepared with, they know that there's nothing they can do because they know the cards in their deck. They know that, well, I'm running a very safe, consistent list, but I've not got that spice. Where a deck like this, you could well, you need that Cherrymon, and you're running a one of, you've got a chance for it to come in, so you've got that 7k blocker to maybe save you. You've got a Bancho for swinging through their 12k plus Digimon and basically pulling the game back in your favor.
Also, something to know, like with Digimon being controversial statement, being one of the more consistent card games out there, just because of how
Quotation mark.
much you draw
Yeah,
from like Evo and stuff, you're gonna see one-offs and like one or two offs a lot more frequently.
yeah, exactly, because you're able to cycle through deck, and especially with the deck like green, that does digivolve a lot. You're gonna be digging through your deck. You're gonna see those one-offs, and so you're gonna be able to play them as and when you need. Um, there's obviously decks that are a lot slower, so I think running one-offs in uh, red can hurt you because it doesn't have that draw power. It doesn't have that memory manipulation. So you're in decks like that, you want to play a little bit safer with your lists.
Yeah.
And then we've got third place, James Longstaff. He's new to us ever. I think this was his first tournament he actually played in, and he's top three, which was nice. Running a Hexablau All Force, which is quite a fun looking build. I tried building a Imperial Hexa, and I felt like you just diluted your end goal. But I think with a deck like All Force, you're playing out those tamers, you're ripping off the sources, so you've got those tamers out that you're gaining from, but you're able to suspend them when attacking. So it synergizes well. So you're
The
not
import Gold Force.
yeah, so you're not compromising in either way. You've got all your pieces for your All Force, you've got all your pieces for your Hexa. Your Hexa's there to slow them down while you can get your pieces for your All Force out. So I think it's a really good combo. Um, I again, I feel like Hexa Hexablau is one of these decks that on paper seems like it should do ridiculously well, but all you need
Doesn't
to
do well because it's reactive,
exactly
and Digimon is a game where reactive decks aren't the greatest.
because all you have to do in a game where every color has great amounts of removal apart from blue, all you have to do is get rid of that Hexablau. Just get rid of it, and their whole game plan's gone. They could have been stalling out a board of like 5 Digimon, and all you needed to see one card to remove it, and there you go. Or even just a de-digivolve. De-digivolve it by 2, keep it your turn, and then you've kind of dealt with your problem.
Yeah.
I think it's why we didn't see like is it Shukomon? I can't even remember his name. The yellow,
Shukuomon.
yeah, Shukomon. That's it. So he was a card that I thought would do really well, just because hard cost 7 to play if you're not going to digivolve into it, but it stalls out their whole board that don't have digivolution sources. So it was and but but back then in that set you just didn't have the removal. But even if you did get it off, level fives are so easy to remove. It just didn't give you what you needed.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think like it's a good deck. He did well to get to third place with it, and I think just having that Hexa to stall out a couple of turns so you can get your All Force pieces is amazing. But like a pure Hexa deck, you just don't have that strength.
We just kind of have to wait until we get a Zulon mod.
Yeah, he's like the much better Hexa.
He's the more aggressive version.
Yeah, because you don't want to swing with Hex. So you want to, even though you've got great things like Jam in, Security Attack +1, you've then left him vulnerable, and he's your whole game plan. So then someone can swing straight into him, and that's it. So then we've got our past Sundays. So again, as we were saying, this yellow's still very strong, and this is James again. So third place on his first tourney and first place in his second. So congratulations to him. He's definitely putting in the work, changing up decks, seeing what's working. But even just going back to like Bobcats, Yellow, where people they've got that list now, so they've got what they know that works, and there's just the odd tweak here or there. So you're always seeing your Starmon, you're seeing your Pidomon, you're seeing your at least a two of Unimon, your Tyrimon, and there's so I think Bobcats runs the Angelwoman that on attack allows you to play out a level 3, and on Digivolve gives you the -2 security where James has opted to play the Angemon for the recovery, whereas Bob's Cats was running one of Lucemon for recovery. So it's just that swapping a few different things around, doing similar jobs, just kind of seeing what works, and then just changing up the spice a bit.
Yeah, like another bit of spice there is the Gladiemon to search security for more pieces.
Yeah, just and I think it's a good amount. Just one of is all you need of it.
Yeah, personally, I'm not a fan of Gladiemon in the deck, but if it works for you, it works for you.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do is open it up. You just hard play the forecast past your opponent's turn and gain nothing off it. But
Yeah,
yes, other than that, it's quite similar to the Bobcats one, but it's still it's still a really good deck, and it's gonna. I can't see it dropping off the planet. Obviously, you know the JP meta better than me, but I can see it still like doing well. But I just
yeah, a lot
think,
of nice stuff in BT6.
yeah, I think that we've just got more aggressive options now.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best deck of the format, but it's still decent.
And then we've got a surprise. So Little running a Diaboromon coming second. Which to be fair, like it has the pieces it needs to steamroll. Um, and if you see those pieces, you're laughing, but it's another one of those decks that's so combo based that you could, if all you're missing is the Kurosari that gives your Diaboromon rush, that could be the difference between you having game and losing next turn. And it's those that reliant on the combo pieces, and where you've not got like black's not got an amazing draw power. It's got your searches, so you got your Keramon on the hard plays. I can't even read it. It's so small, but I believe is it top three? Yeah.
Come
So
on.
yeah. So on play, reveal them, pick one tamer and one identified.
Yeah, the Team Master specifically Baraka.
Oh yeah. So yeah, one errata and one identified. Um. So you've got the pieces you need to search. So you've got the searcher to get the pieces you need, and you've got a little bit of draw power, but it's you it's not consistent draw power. You're relying on like your eggs, your
Swarm,
BT,
yeah, tokens.
yeah, you swarm your tokens. You got your BT2 Keramon for your draw. So there's all these little things that you need to for your deck to kind of take off and win. Um, but if you see them, like you can swarm ridiculous amounts. You could be playing out 4 or 5 tokens, all with rush, and then you just go for game.
Yeah,
So
basically.
and then we've got good old Cookie with his Shoutmon. I think playing against Gordo Shoutmon so much it's left a sour taste in my mouth. Uh, it's a
Imagine.
it's a really interesting day. I love the idea of it. And when it plays well, it does amazing, and it's got so you run your two searches. You've got your Shoutmon for searching, and you've got your Agumon for searching. So your Agumon top three grab a Greymon uh, and an Omnimon. So you can grab your Blitz Omni, your BT1 Omni, your Z Greymon, your Rise Greymon, Metal Greymon, uh, Standard Greymon, so that you've got you're searching and you're guaranteed to at least get something out of it, potentially two, which is nice. And then on top of that, you've got your Shoutmon, which I believe again is top. Is it top five? Yeah, so it's top five,
With
and one
Shout,
with yeah,
or Blitz.
yeah. So yeah, one with Shout and one with Blitz. So again, it allows you to find your pieces. So it's a deck that doesn't have amazing draw power, but just having those searches allows you to get all the pieces you need, because all you need is one good stack, and then
Yeah, you're just taking out like 5 security, like
yeah,
3 or 4 security.
because if you think you're hard playing your Agumon, you're hard playing your Shoutmon, they're giving you your search, and then you're just throwing them into security because you don't really care about them. You may build up on them, maybe put a block down, but if you don't need to, you're playing, gaining what you need, and you're building up this stack that you then bring out, swing for like 3 security, clear the rest of the security out, and then go into Omnimon and go for Omnimon Blitz and go for game. I've seen a couple of lists run Agunimon just for that extra, but I don't think it needs it because
I don't see that there's a place in this deck for a Goonie.
yeah, I think, and again with this, I feel like we're coming to a point where people have got down what needs to be in the deck. They know exactly what needs to it, and it's just the odd one of or two of here. So Cookie's decided he's going to play a BT1 Omni. I've seen people run BT1 Omni. Usually they'll run a Ultimate Fusion just so they can go into it for free and get,
Like 3 or 4 attacks with it.
yeah. But it's nice just to have that because maybe that's all you need. You just need, you've done your big swing with Shout. They've got something big on their board. They've got no security left, and all you need is just pop into Omni just to clear out something big and scary on their side. Next turn you've got potentially 3 or 4 attacks to go for game. Whereas some people just opt to not run any of him, run the blitz. So I think we're seeing like where we come to the end of this this current meta, we're seeing very
Standardized deck.
yeah very similar lists.
More wacky stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the wacky stuff is usually that comes at the beginning where everyone's throwing things together, seeing what happens, and now it's kind of people just playing their ironed out decks. You know, they've worked on these, they've been working on them for over a month now, and we're just seeing slight tweaks. So this next slot is your side of things.
Yes, the Japanese side of the matter. See what's going on over there for future reference. So most of these deck lists are going to be coming from DD Cup, which is a big tournament in Japan. This was 62 players, I believe, this tournament. So very big. The first list that's topping is this purple Beal Starmon deck, which interestingly runs no options. No level 5s or 7s in it. Does run options.
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of the point of the deck. But yes,
It's a very unique deck. Obviously, stars of the show at the moment for JP is Eismon.
yeah,
Eismon is
I saw him.
insane.
Yeah, I saw him in a game earlier. I didn't even know it existed. Yeah,
So for those who don't know what Star Mons is, so we'll go over scatter mode first because it's a lot easier. It's a champion with on deletion, draw 3, discard 2, which is the cycling on that is insane.
yeah. For a deck that needs to control what's going into his trash, it's just unbelievable.
Especially as you can also slap a Gabumon and a Derry Mirror under there, and it's just ooh, it's a lot.
Is it draw 6 trash 4?
Yeah, draw 6-4.
All from all from a level 4.
The normal Eismon is when you trash it, if you have an Eismon scatter mode in your trash, you get to play it for free.
Which
Then
it's just crazy.
yep, it is. And then each Eismon scatter mode in the trash against 2000 DP. I believe starting at a base 5k, which is again super insane.
It's 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 just crazy. Like obviously we're seeing the beginning of a meta over at JP, so we're gonna see different things come out. But just they love purple over there, and it's always like each set you're seeing like a little bit more support, a little bit more support. But they seem to play so much purple over there, and it's definitely
Yeah,
paying off.
yeah, purple is just the color they really like. Any format you'll see like 2 or 3 like at least like 3, 4 purple decks topping every format. It's kind of weird. Other important cards to note of this is I believe the card is called Revival from the Darkness. Calling from the Darkness, which is the 1-cost option with Dragamon, Geomon, and Impamon, where you delete one of your Digimon to get 2 cards from your trash back to your hand, which can cause an infinite loop with Trackmon, because you grab Trackmon and something else back, you play the Trackmon, grab back Revive from the Calling from the Darkness. So you can just basically toolbox like once or twice per turn any cards from your trash that you need.
Which is it's crazy. They're definitely purple's definitely the loop color. You were telling me about the Cherubimon loop as well, which just sounds insane. Maybe that's
Yeah,
for another episode. We can whack out the document on that one.
yeah, it's definitely a deck that's doing stuff. We've not seen it top yet. So
Then we've
second list is a Titamon list, weirdly enough. So again, back the purple standard stuff that you see. Like I said before, Eismon Scatter Mode and normal Eismon are really taking the forefront of this. Yeah, got Nidhoggmon, which is very nice for trashing. When you trash, you gain a memory, which makes Titamon go to a 3 cost to evolve, which important numbers, as always. Orochimaru is also a very nice card. As a discard, you draw a card when you pitch it. Then, uh, as an inheritable, when attacking, you can trash a card to gain a memory.
Yeah, which you're definitely not going to say no to in this. I think it's interesting just looking at the ratios. They're running more level fours than they are threes. I think it's like you said, it's just for how valuable those Shademon are.
Yeah, Eismon is just such a dumb card. And then there's obviously like more stuff that you can revive in the deck with stuff like Ogremon being like on play trash something to kill a level 4. Ginkakumon, which is whenever you discard a card, gain a memory. It's just a lot of stuff. Obviously, the deck is very heavily focused on discard.
It definitely makes me happy with being like a purple main, seeing all these beautiful things we're going to be getting, all these fun toolboxes. It's
Yeah.
just it's definitely just getting better and better. And we've
And
got
onto the second place list is Blue Hybrid. What most people would consider in JP probably the best deck at the moment because this deck is absurd.
yeah, it's definitely the one that gains the most from going full hybrid because it had so much support before.
Yeah, definitely. Person in this list decided not to go for anything Ancient Garurumon wise and going purely for Magna Garurumon. Uh, Magna Garurumon is a very, very cool card. With Koji's skill, you can evolve it by putting 5 hybrids from your hand underneath Koji. But then, when digivolving and when attacking, you can add a hybrid from a card from the evolution sources to your hand to bounce back a Digimon of the same level. So you're very heavily incentivized at putting one of each level under it, so you can basically bounce back whatever you want, which is really nice
Yeah, you
and
could
pretty
potentially
powerful.
just stack another version of himself underneath him so you can bounce back a level 6 from their side, which is crazy.
Yeah. Something that I thought was a bit weird when looking at this deck list is that there's no Bokomons in here. Bokomon being a level 3 white Digimon, which is essentially a unit. Reveal the top 5 on play. Add a Digimon with hybrid in its form and a tamer.
Yeah, now you mention it, I realize because every deck I've seen, every hybrid JP deck I've seen is running at least a couple of them. Because
Yeah,
isn't it when you digivolve use the tamer as a source when digivolving, don't you gain? I think it's gain 2 memory.
yeah, the ancient line. So it makes most of them free to evolve, which is yeah, it's a weird choice not to have it. Obviously, Susanoo is there, being the baller that he is.
I think it's where it's the beginning of a meta over there. So they see a lot of people trying a lot of different things, but I can see it settling and him being like at least a 2 of in every hybrid deck.
Yeah, definitely. Like Shine Hybrid is not a deck that we're focusing today, but it's a deck I could probably bring up in the future that runs a couple of them. It's just the fact that it's the first universal level 7.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm looking. I mean, I think it's where we've had the first year of the meta now. Over at JP, we're gonna start, and we've nearly had the first year over here. We're gonna start seeing them really experiment with things, and especially with the new starter decks, they're supposed to be like the first proper dual-colored cards. So we're gonna see
Mm.
some really crazy stuff coming out, I think, over the next
Hopefully we
year.
can have more like dual color options, or dual color tamers that count as two different colors on board.
Yeah, because they've trialed that dual color before with Rise. He technically counts as a red and a yellow. But he's not a dual coloured card. He's just a red card that has an ability that allows you to digivolve on him as if he was a yellow card.
Yeah, it's looking forward to having more dual stuff. I like dual color decks, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, me too. I really love Mastamon, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that because that's the thing is, especially in previous metas, trying to run a dual colored deck, it just always feels janky. You feel like it's just never quite doing what it should because you're either having to hard play things when you should be like you could have a baby out but you've got the only rookie you've got is of a different color, so you're hard playing it when you should be digivolving to draw, and it just feels a bit janky. So it's gonna be nice seeing dual colors. Hopefully we see dual color Digitama as well.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I'd like a dual color Digitama.
What's the so obviously we've got the BT7 memory boost, but what's that new option card there, the one in the middle, the one of
Yes, because I had to look up before this. Starlight Velocity is the name. It is you may play a Tamer and a Digimon card from from with a hybrid Digivolution source. So basically, it's double Kaizenale for 3, as long as it's a hybrid and you're bringing out a hybrid and a Tamer.
so it's kind of like a situation so they have to have the tamer and the hybrid, but
Yeah.
you, I mean, you're potentially with your Magna Guru, you're swinging, sending things back to your hand to send things back to their hand, and then you could leave a tamer and a hybrid underneath and just play for 3. So then next turn you've got your tamer back. You've got like a because is there any level constraint?
Or which card?
The option you were just talking about.
No, no level constraint.
So you
It's
could
just play a Tamer, play a Digimon hybrid.
potentially well, does Magna Guru count as a hybrid?
Magna Gurumon is a hybrid.
So you could stack Magna under Magna, do your swings, then play him out to play out a second Magna.
Yeah, basically. If you wanted to.
Is crazy.
Yeah. Also, the security skill on the option is it's a bit weird. Essentially, it lets you play the Tamer, the Altar one that you see in the image, for
Yeah.
free from either your security, or not security, your trash or hand.
So it's a nice. It's yeah. So if it's hit insecurity, it's as if you had a tamer in security, as long as you've
Yeah,
got one sitting now. No, it's definitely yeah. I'm excited to see what comes out of it because I think over the it's always the same with JP. You've showed me some crazy lists and like once people start playing around with it, they come up with the craziest things. Obviously, security control originated from someone's crazy idea over in JP, and
yeah,
look what's happened with that. So you never know what they're going to come up with. Um,
definitely.
but yeah, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks we're going to see some real fun stuff. So this next segment is we thought we'd implement a little bit of us in each episode. So a deck list from us. It could be some super serial meta deck we think is groundbreaking, or could be something like what Holy's decided to make. So I'll yeah, if you want to go over and explain what this is.
Well, this is what I like to call the Blue D Brigade. So essentially, it's your pretty standard D Brigade deck lists, like just running 4 of all the D Brigade stuff. But then it has this nice little blue package with Thomas H. Norstein and Kaiser Ale. So Thomas H. Norstein is there just because it's cycle as well as being the blue source that you want in the deck. And the main idea of it is to digivolve, like go into Dark Dramon, swing with it, do the nice stuff with it, then evolve it up into Ragnar Lordmon. Can obviously then make that for free. and then either at a later point or on the same turn, you can Kaizennail out the Darkdramon again. But obviously, because this time is a play cost of 4, if you return 5, then you essentially net 6 memory from it, which is kind of absurd.
Yeah, it's making your Darkdramon because it's on play, you're gaining a rush as well. So
Yeah,
theoretically, there's a loop in here somewhere. As long as you've got enough D-Brigade in your trash, you could loop it a
yeah,
couple of times.
that's the idea. Deviate is like something so difficult to set up, getting everything in trash. But if you have enough, and if the game's grinded out, especially if it's like security control, if you do this to them, providing that the Darkdramon lives, it's kind of funny.
Yes, I think especially against security control because Darkdramon, you can just keep playing out Darkdramon, keep cycling your trash, so you keep like refreshing your deck. They're decking themselves out, and you're just sitting pretty.
Yeah. When the starter decks comes out, it's going to be a lot easier to kind of do because we have Cordramon and Dracmon that we're going to run anyway, so we can take out Thomas because we have blue sources that
Yeah,
we want to run in the deck rather than something we have to force in there to play Kaiser now.
but yeah, it's one of those decks that you don't think of, but when you see it, your brain starts ticking, and you straight away and you're like, ah, I see what you've done here.
Mm,
It's kind of like Black's version of the Cerberusmon, uh, Cerberus Blue.
yeah, which I played a lot of in BT4. So anyway, I can make Kaiser now good is something I'll do.
It's one of those like the thing is that you don't need to make Kaiser now good because it is really good, but it just never sees play because a lot
Mm,
of blue decks you're not pulling your sources out. You're just going swing in multiple times. So it's a card that would have been amazing in other colors, which I think is why you think that extra mile. You try and fit it into other colors because it just makes them crazy.
yeah,
I'd love to see this against the purple version of like the Cerberus
I guess
Kaiser.
it'd be fun to watch.
Yeah,
Essentially, as this is just a BT4 list. Like you can update this to BT5. Like the only cards in there is the command from on.
yeah, and that
You,
I think that's all it needs.
yeah,
No, that yeah, maybe that's something we can do. I'll build the purple version and we'll go head to head and see how that goes.
yeah, it'd be something fun to do.
But yeah, it's nice. It's where we're in a point where we're in a lull now, where we've played a lot of the meta. So you're going back looking at those old decks, seeing what you can do, and if you're holy, you're seeing what you can do to break them.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So then we come to my deck. My deck's a little bit more traditional. This is a deck that I've been playing for a good few weeks now. That I've been tweaking, trying to find like its perfect version. I don't think it's there yet. I think there's a couple changes I could make, but this is my restanding Metal Guru. So it's essentially the only reason I'm running full Gigimon is because I only want to see this one card because that extra 2k is that you need it with Metal Guru because you're only swinging at 11k. So being able to swing at 13k potentially means you can swing over things, play out a rookie, restand, or you're swinging to security a little bit safer. Um, but it's an OTK build with like you've got a little bit of leeway. So obviously your main stack, you want to see Gigimon, you want to see the starter deck Gabumon, where on attack draw and trash one. You want to see your Black Growlmon, either your War Growl or your Black War Growlmon. Very rarely do I even use the Digiburst on the Black War Growl because I want to keep that stack whole. I'll get the security attack +1. I'm getting the on attack draw and trash one, let me to cycle. The only time I will Digiburst is if I've got a Tactimon in hand because he can't cycle the level 3s, and if I haven't got level 3 in hand, I could potentially Digiburst, get out the rookie, swing, gain all the effects from Tactimon, swing twice, and then maybe go into a Zort. I was trying this with standard Zort, but where it's an OTK deck and you're just building up this one stack, you're just like almost tunnel visioning. You've got your one thing in mind. This is what I'm gonna do. So I think just having defeat, like if they show up in security and you've got a Tyan Matt in on play, you've just got yourself two security there because they won't want to delete it because it's going to destroy something on their board. So you're potentially going to swing for two, and if you've not even brought out your stack yet, you could swing for two checks, bring out your Metal Guru, attack, bring out a rookie, restand, potentially two checks, attack, swing for the finals check, play out your Demonted Disaster, restand, swing for game. Um, Now, if you've ever played against me or seen me play, I'm the king of bricking, especially against Gordo. So no matter what I change in this deck, I'll brick at least one game, and then usually it works fine. But I don't think
You'll
there's
get there eventually.
yeah yeah. Once I shuffle it about 100 times, it's usually all right. But I think there's not much more I'd change in it. I'm seeing more and more value out of the 6 cost blockers. And so, as much as I'd be losing like the cheap 1 cost to evolve, I'm still running the Meramon, so I could potentially Meramon on top of a Gabu, swing, draw one, trash one. He dies, or potentially doesn't die. So, say if I've got a Gabu and a Labra in play, I'll swing with the Labra, it'll die. The Gabu has the inherit, so the Gabu's gone to 4k. Digivolve into a Mera for 1, it's now 7k. I can maybe swing. I'm now not scared of blockers, it's more likely to survive, or maybe I can swing over something, get the draw on trash one. So I see value of Meramon, but the amount of times I've played Devimon against uh, yellow, against green, against red, and it's just died. I know playing it, I'm not going to save myself. Where if I played a Vilemon, like that's the difference between um, a Shoutmon not being able to swing through my big stack on board, and my Shoutmon being able to, and their Shoutmon being able to Digivolve, and just from Digivolving put a Zeeg underneath it, killing my blocker, then swinging through my stack. So definitely, if I was going to change anything, I think it was just play two more Valmon, because with what the top is at the moment, you're not going to get punished for that. Even just if I'm on 3 memory, hard playing him, putting them to 2 doesn't feel bad if it's a Varmon because it's something they have to go the extra step to remove. Yellow is a little easier, but green can't Nidhogg it. I mean, yes, they can potentially rest it if they've got the right stack, but if all they've got is a stack that they're going to go into Nidhogg, unless they're sitting with a needle spray in hand or flower cannon, you're safe. So they need it's given meaning, so they have to have those extra pieces to go for game. But other than that, it works well. I mean, it's I've topped with it a couple of times. I played a tournament, I think it was last weekend, the Digi Destination, and I came third place, which I was happy
Yeah.
with. Um,
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. But I think it does what it needs to do. It's not top, but it's fun. I enjoy playing it, and yeah, it's definitely one that I mean, I found it by chance. I was having such a horrible time playing Chaos Gallant. I couldn't get it to work for me. So
As you said.
yeah, this was my saving grace.
Didn't I show you this deck list?
Yeah, you showed me the JP version, and oh, no, sorry, we I think we said one evening we were like,
Yeah.
what
Someone,
if?
someone, someone tasked me to make Kreskaru among good, and it's like, you just, someone mentioned Melga. I was like, yeah, Melga just makes this deck infinitely more consistent. Play Melga instead.
Yeah, and then it stemmed from that, and then I think uh, Mickey said, "Oh, I've got a deck list that was from JP that was pretty good that runs pretty similar." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So I took like the list you sent, the list Mickey sent, and then kind of have made it into my own thing. And yeah, it's really good fun. It's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
one for the one for at least just build it to play it. I think it's especially in a meta where the top you're seeing the same things. You're seeing 80%. Uh, you're seeing 80% yellow, 10% red, and then the rest is kind of
Mishmash and other stuff.
yeah. So it, it doesn't do bad against either of those colors because you're not too scared of yellow because you're building and raising and then you're swinging through. Because there's nothing in their stack that's going to kill you. If you darkness go on top of a Melga and you've just deleted your rookie, you're swinging a Melga at 16k. So you're not scared, and they don't unless they've got a big board and they've got spiral in there. You're not gonna mind. And even with shout, they don't really play removal because their stack is removal. So it stands a good chance against both those decks.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I, th-
It might even be something I might give a try, to be honest.
I think you
But
should. I think next week maybe you should show them your loot deck that got you top 50 in the regionals.
yeah, I can show off the love loop.
It's a fun deck. I mean, I don't think we'd have time to show a demonstration. It may take 45 minutes for you to get your turn out, but
Yeah, just like a general gist of the deck, and then
yeah, definitely.
the deck tries to do would be definitely something that'd be interesting to show.
So again, we're part of the Gordo Games Discord. Um, I've I've been helping run tournaments, so we've set out like a schedule for the next tournament. So on this podcast, we're going to be showing you what the next two are going to be. So we've got our standard Thursday local on the 9th. And then on the 12th, we've got our Omnimon Cup. So first place is an All Art BT5 Omnimon. Second, a normal BT5 Omnimon Blitz. And third place is a playset of BT5 rares of your choice. So all of these are free entry. Don't need to submit a deck. It's just something fun that we like to do, and they're open worldwide. So anyone that's listening that wants to join in, the link for the Discord will be in the description below, and then in the Discord you'll find all the information on how to join these tournaments. But there'll be a tournament every Thursday and every Sunday. But other than that, I think that is it for our first podcast. Is there anything you'd like to add, Holy?
Yeah, I think this is all very good.
Yeah,
Enjoyed it. Oh, okay.
maybe it will stay this janky, maybe it won't. Not sure. Maybe this is. I mean, this was put together within
What,
uh,
2 days?
yeah 2 days using a popular Google slideshow.
The slideshow brands are available.
Yeah, I think it does the job. We get the information out there. But yeah, hopefully you've either learned something or you've enjoyed listening to us talk for probably about an hour and a half now. Um, but
Half an hour, 40 maybe.
yeah, but if you can subscribe, leave a comment. We'd love to hear what kind of decks you're running at the moment, what you think does well, and join us over at the Discord, the Gordo Games Discord group, and hopefully we'll see you over there at some of the tournaments. But for myself and Holy, this is us saying have a good evening or day.